This is Lewis Hart for Boxing Social in association with Empire Fight Store and William Hill. Delighted today to be joined with the problem, Mr. Michael McKinson. How are we, mate?
I'm good. I'm good, you know. Nice and busy. Nice and busy. Another date lined up. Um, excited. Excited.
Definitely another date lined up for you and another date in Bournemouth, not too far from you. Must feel sort of good to fight, not in a home crowd, it's not quite Portsmouth, but it's near enough.
Yeah, I had my comeback fight after the Ortiz fight in Bournemouth. It's like less than an hour down the road, and it felt like a homecoming for me. I've not fought in Portsmouth for 5.5 years, so Bournemouth's home for me, you know. Yeah, great card and great event to be involved in. You know, it's probably the biggest card the South Coast has ever seen. So it's very exciting.
Definitely, you just said there about it being the biggest South Coast fight there's ever seen. I can't think of anywhere um any bigger one than this in the past. And it being a stadium fight, it's not quite Fratton Park, but the vitality will do.
Yes.
Having all them people come out for you must be a special feeling. And to fight in a stadium, it's sort of what everyone's dreamed of.
Yeah, the support I've received's been unbelievable since being added to this card. Regardless if I'm on fighting in a 6 rounder at 5 p.m. or whatever, like the support I receive nowadays is unbelievable. When I first turned pro, I used to struggle to sell 30 tickets in my hometown of Portsmouth. I never earned any money. I couldn't sell tickets, and to see where I've come and the support that I receive now, it's great. Like it is unbelievable. I've obviously fought in the States a couple of times. I have travelling army there. I fought in Italy last time out. I had a travelling army fly over to watch me in a small venue in just outside Rome. So I'm very humbled. Um, my supporters mean the world, and hopefully play the game. And after this, we can get something big.
Definitely. What's it like been for you? When you look at your career, I'd always say, it's never been the easy road for you. It's always been the hard way. But you look now, sort of towards in your current position. You fought in America twice. You fought in Italy. You fought in a stadium. When you look at these experiences, when you look at the end of your career, when you're still sort of very much near the start. Near the start of potential goal that could end that could be at the end of the tunnel. When you look back on your career, is it good to sort of have experiences like this where it's something you could sort of tell the grandchildren in a way and tell your kids?
All the time, I'm ticking things off the bucket list for me. Like I know I've got loads left to achieve in boxing. I've got loads left to achieve in boxing. There's so much more I can do. But when I first turned pro, I've had goals and I've reached every goal that I've had, and I've exceeded a lot of people's expectations of what I can achieve in boxing. Um, the journey's been great. Like I've got a long way left, but I have been a pro a long time. I've been a pro nearly 9 years. I've won 4 titles. I've had 25 pro fights, so it's been a long journey, but there's so much more to come. Like last year, I got to fight in America, bucket list. I got to headline in America, bucket list. You know, it. I've got a very colourful CV. My dad was telling me not that long ago. You look at most people, my CV looks better. My boxing record looks better, more colourful than a lot. So I'm very grateful for every opportunity that I've been given and stuff like that. Yeah, it is good, but there's lots left to do.
Does it feel better that it's been a harder road for you? You just mentioned there about
Yeah,
you struggling to sell tickets, but now you had that perseverance and you're reaping the rewards of it now.
yeah. I got to. I think I was 19-0. Not really earned anything out of boxing. Every time it was always 50-50s, and I'd come through and it'll just get me that little bit further. And then it was the Chris Congo opportunity that changed things, and then signing with Matchroom on free fight deal, going to America and stuff like that. But like when I took my loss against Ortiz over there, I heard nothing but praise and didn't really get much criticism from it. And Like I took him further than anybody else. I won rounds against him. I cut him, you know, and I thought I was gonna be able to jump back into big fights, and it hasn't seemed that way. You know, I haven't really been given any big fight opportunities yet. I've had to go back to the six and the eight rounders. No, like no fault of mine, no choice of mine, but I just got to play the game and wait for them opportunities to come again. I'm UK's number one. I'm UK's number one, but I just feel like UK's number one should be in proper fights.
Yeah, because I was going to say, that literally goes on to my next question. How would you sort of assess your response after the Vergil Ortiz loss? The stuff that you're saying hasn't been your fault, but you said you're fighting 6 and 8 rounds and it's frustrating. So after a loss, after putting up a good performance against Vergil Ortiz, you feel like now you want to be right there with we're mixing with the big boys. But from what you're saying, you don't feel like you're getting them opportunities. Would you say?
No, which I deserve to be with them boys. Obviously, I'm a world class fighter, but the fact of the matter is, I haven't got a promoter. So I'm very lucky and very grateful to be given slots on big cards still, regardless if it's chief support or main event or whatever, or 5 p.m. on YouTube. Like I'm very, very grateful to be given slots on big cards. But like everyone that knows me knows what I'm best at, and that's proving people wrong.
Absolutely, yeah. And sort of, I was going to touch on the sort of the promoter situation because obviously, you had a 3 fight deal at Matchroom. Now you've had fights with Boxer. Is it something where do you want a long-term promotional deal, or do you feel like potentially have different fights there and where you can sort of make yourself available for whoever wants to fight, you can fight on any promotional platform? Do you feel like that'd be more beneficial for you?
Yeah, it's no secret that it doesn't matter any of these top welterweights. I avoid none, and the phone's there for the big fights. People know that. So obviously any opportunities that come my way, 100% I'm willing to take. But I guess it's a matter of time. I guess it's a matter of time. I've been lucky to be able to box on Matchroom cards, box on Golden Boy cards, box on Boxer cards. So I'm there. Everyone knows who I am. Just we're waiting for the big fights. That's all it is. The big fights. I'm 29. I've been a pro nearly 9 years. I've earned my stripes the hard way. It feels like I have to earn my stripes again to get. I've only lost to Ortiz, but it feels like I have to earn my stripes again. But they all know they come unstuck against Michael McKinson. Domestically, I sit at the top of the pile.
Yeah.
I don't think nobody touches me domestically, if I'm honest. But like I said, just a matter of time. I've got to keep grafting, keep just fighting whoever's put in front of me. Stay busy. Next month, this month, when I fight on May 27th, I would have fought 5 times in 14 months.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I can't moan. I can't moan.
Do you feel like people at the level that you're talking about, do you feel like you're being avoided, sort of not by promoters but by fighters as well?
I guess that's for other people to assume and make their opinion on it, because I avoid no one, but the phone's not ringing for these big fights at the moment. When I was before Chris Congo, I was an avoided fighter.
Yeah.
Then I beat Congo and I had a bit of a platform, and like I managed to get great opportunities. I take one loss and then it's like I'm back to square one, avoided again. No one really mentions my name, and the fact of the matter is that's because I'm the biggest threat to them all, and they all know that.
Do you feel that you could make a name for yourself in America? Because you've fought Alex Martin, fought Vergil Ortiz, you've fought on Golden Boy shows, and for me, when I look at that and I look at potentially fights for you, I've always said a Blair Cobbs fight or an Alexis Rocha fight, where you're known to the Golden Boys, you're known to the Golden Boy, you're known to the American audience. You just said there that you feel like you're number one in the UK. Well, what about pitching yourself in America and fighting, the top American welterweights such as Cobbs and Rocha, which were they're two names that I think makes the most sense for you. If I was trying to play matchmaker.
Yeah, they're two names that I've been linked to in the past. Like, out of everyone that's ranked in Britain right now, obviously take Conor Benn out of the equation. I'm known more to the American public than Ekow Essuman, Chris Congo, anyone beneath me, right? The American audience respect me. The American media love me. The promoters love me. They love working with me both times over there, and we'll still keep in touch with some of the people over there as well. It's just about when opportunities come. Like Blair Cobbs called me out last year in the March fight week. His kind of energy's dropped a little bit since. I don't know what his situation is or who he's with at the moment and stuff like that. But that'd be a great fight. Alexis Rocha obviously has a date and an opponent and stuff like that. So it's about timing. Now, both of them fights I'd love. I'd love another States trip, but just a meaningful fight, Yeah. I just want a meaningful fight. Team Alexis Rocha and his team are great people. When Ortiz pulled out in March through injury or through rhabdomyosis, every day in fight week I was given this opponent, and I was saying yes. There's 7 opponents I said yes to. One night I went to sleep agreeing to fight Alexis Rocha. Not many people know that. I woke up to the news Golden Boy didn't want to scrap Rocha versus Blair Cobbs. When I took my first loss in Texas, Alexis Rocha and his coach would have fussed in my changing rooms afterwards to see how I was and things like that. So they're great people. I've got nothing but respect for them. I'm hungry for them fights. Yeah. They're the ones I want. I tasted what it's like at the top last year. 2 fight camps to fight Ortiz I went through, and 2 America trips, and last year I was so respected and stuff like that. I take 1 loss and I'm back to square one. But it is what it is. A point to prove again, and that's what I've done my whole life. So we'll just carry on doing it.
Yeah, absolutely. Because it's the reason I said that is obviously, like you said there, the relationship that you've got with America. It's like the American media, the American public, they all know you, and that's due to you fighting Ortiz, and everyone knows your name because you took Ortiz further than anyone else. So that's why I was saying, the idea of potentially you picking yourself with America and potentially being sort of the guy that takes out all the Golden Boy fighters, guys like Rocha, where in America that's a big fight for you because everyone knows you as the guy that took Ortiz the furthest. That's not me being disrespectful, but do you know what I'm sort of trying to say with that?
Yeah, Rocha is a great fighter. I've got a lot of respect to him and his team, like I said. But since he's beat Blair Cobbs, he hasn't had a better win. He hasn't fought anyone better than Blair Cobbs since. I think he's fought 3 times. He hasn't fought anyone as good since. So yeah, that's me not being disrespectful. That's me stating facts. And I like I say, it's no fault of my opposition that I'm for the rounds I'm fighting and the opposition. I'm just in a bit of a corner, and I've got to be grateful with what I've been given at the moment. Regardless of the frustration and things like that, I'm busy, I'm active. I'm sitting at the top domestically. So yeah, hopefully this one goes well, and then next time it's a proper fight. I'd say a proper fight. They're all dangerous opponents, but when I mean proper fight, I mean we want more belts. We want more meaningful fights. We want to be at the top of the card and stuff. So I'm sure it'll come. I've just got to stay patient.
Yeah.
And not be a problem.
Yeah, the problem can't be a problem. But you say that. How important though is because you know from the heart. I don't want to keep saying you come the hard way, but how important perseverance is in boxing and being patient and everything all about timing. So there for you, how important is it now that you are as patient as you possibly can be, and that the phone's always ringing for you, and you're ready to take it whenever the opportunity would arise.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to stay patient. It really is. Like, I've got a lot of ambition and a lot of desire and a lot of, well, I know where I should be. So it's very hard to stay patient, but I'll keep winning. The opportunities will eventually come again. Um, I've got to really have faith and have trust in the people looking after me. Um, Obviously, it's tough, like where I was last year to where I am now, but like I've got to have patience. I've got to have gratitude, and hopefully something comes off later on in the year.
How would you say, mentally you dealt with the Vergil Ortiz fight, the loss, losing your row? How mentally in your head did you deal with that? Was it like, a bit of like did your sort of ego get crushed a little bit, things like that? Like, how did you
Yeah,
sort of deal with it?
people that know Michael McKinson know that how proud and how confident I am as a fighter. I went to Texas full of confidence, full of belief, and as the fight was going on, I knew, like, before the injury, there was not a time I thought I was going to get stopped. I was taking his body shots, I was taking his head shots, and obviously my hip bone. It was unfortunate. Although I was down on the cards, I was always in the fight, so it was tough. You know, I'll be the first to admit I had a bit of a cry afterwards, but that's why my comeback fight only a 6 rounder, but I chose to fight somebody with 19 wins and 4 losses rather than a journeyman that I originally got given because I wanted to end the year with a proper win.
Yeah.
It like for a little bit, like even to this day, people like I walk down the street. How hard did he really hit? Oh, you had it all to do anyway, all stuff like that. But I'm a very confident guy, and I really do believe in my ability and what I got. So there's going to be a time I'm going to be back competing with them guys 100% because like I belong at that level.
Do you feel like, the loss has affected you, do you feel like in the long run, this could be a positive thing for you, would you say?
It's affected my career a little bit. Um, I'm still on the big stage, but I'll take a loss and I'm back fighting 6 rounders. I never thought that'd happen. So it has a little bit, but if anything, I'm still number 1 in the UK. On box rec, I'm number 12 in the world. Um, like, okay, the fight, though, I'm doing 6 and 8 round fights, but as long as I stay busy and stay ready, then my luck will change. Uh, like my statistics don't lie. I'm 24-1, and the only person I've lost to is Vergil Ortiz Jr. So, like I said, I'll leave it to everybody else to make their opinion on things. Like people know me, know I'll fight anybody. So me like fighting 6 and 8 rounders and stuff, it's not my fault. Um, like I said, I'm very grateful, and like I said, the best is yet to come from me.
When you look at the British welterweights, you look at Ekow Essuman and Harry Scarf, obviously everything's in the air with Conor Ben. Would you say that you're sort of above all them sort of guys? Like you said, you want the world level. Would you say you're above the sort of the British level of fighters that I just listed?
Uh well, Conor's got a lot to kind of focus on at the moment. The rest of the guys are not on my level, and I sound really overconfident and stuff like that. But the fact is, they all want to talk about fighting each other. They all want to mention each other's names, and they always avoid Michael McKinson. I've watched a few interviews lately of them guys, and my name's always avoided. But I'm the one sitting on top of the tree. So yeah, I don't believe any of them can like can perform with me and beat me. No way.
Yeah.
With the right time and the right preparations, no problem.
Yeah.
But they don't mention me. So why would I lose sleep on people beneath me?
It's funny because I said that because I saw you reply to a tweet from Queensbury where they put about Ekow Essuman being the UK's number one. And you were like, hold on a minute, look at BoxRec, the number one is me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So a few weeks before that, I was vocal to Ekow. I like Ekow. I've never met him, but I like his rise and things like that, but he's a respectful guy. But I was vocal on Twitter saying, let's get it on. Number 1 and number 2, let's get it on. And his reply was, you're on the list, but we're not ready yet, or something like that. So yeah, he's obviously wants to fight other people and stuff like that, which is cool. But you can't say that he's number 1. Look at BoxRec, you know. Obviously Conor's out of the rankings now, but I always believed I should have been above him anyway. And yeah, I'm number 1, not just on the BoxRec rankings. The Boxing News rankings had me as number 1. I'm top 15 with the IBF and the WBA, I think.
Yeah.
So I'm ranked really high. I am ranked really high in a lot of rankings. So I deserve the opportunities. But there's no way Ekow's number 1.
Absolutely. You know, just as we wrap this up, I did want to sort of touch on something. I put out a tweet like about a couple of weeks ago when I was in Poland, and I said, you know, this is sort of on a more personal note with you. And I said, you know, it's a year since my first ever interview. And my first ever interview is sort of with you, so it's good now that we can talk. You know, now, you know, this is a job for me now. You know, boxing sort of reporting is a job. So I just wanted to say thank you, you know, for the opportunity you gave me back then, and now I can interview you as well. So it's always a pleasure, mate.
Not a problem, mate. As long as you always have me on.
Of course, mate. I'll always have you on.
If it's down the line and we're a year, 2 years down the line, and I'm still fighting, having a 46 rounders, I still want to stay relevant.
Definitely. If it's not me, it'll be Charlie. So you know, yeah.
Oh, lovely.
But yeah,
Nice.
honestly, Michael, thank you for your time, mate. I really appreciate you sort of spending the time to talk to me. And let's hope so. As long as you stay patient and persistent, the big fights will definitely come for you, mate. So I appreciate your time, mate.
That's it, mate. Appreciate it.
Top man. Thank you. Thank you.